Hey guys, welcome back to Easeldoesitstudio. So you can see I've got something different on here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a Lazy Susan. So this is a fairly thick piece of wood, and I did tape up my edges underneath, and I've just got these 4 little things to like raise it up because our resin is going to drip over our piece. This is going to be the bottom. So this, we're going to find the center, and then we're going to screw this down. And then this is going to get screwed to the bottom of this big one. And that's what's going to make our Lazy Susan. So there'll be just this distance between this board and this board. So that's what we're going to do. So I just spray painted that the same with the edges, even though it doesn't show. So I will be getting that done while this is setting up. But I figured I'd at least show you the pieces. And those are just like little round pieces of wood that I got at Michael's. This I got at I think Home Depot. It was in the wood section. And it's just pine, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to try to do a red, white, and blue theme where 4th of July is coming up. But I've got to be careful because I don't want my white and my red to mix and make pink. And I don't want too much of the red with the blue to make purple. So I don't know how this is going to come out, but we're going to just go with it. I don't know how much resin. I mixed up 8 ounces of the Craftor 1-to-1. I don't know if that's too much or not enough, but we'll see. And I did make sure that it is level, so we're good to go there. So I'm going to mix up the blue and the red and the white, but then I'm going to take some of the blue and some of the red, and we're going to throw some glitter in it. So we'll have a little bit of glittery throughout. And I picked out the, wait a minute, that's not the blue that I want, because that is not a powder. I mean, I wanted a paste. So we are going to go with the Sokio blue for the blue. And then we're going to do the Cacao red for the red. This is the true red. They do have this deeper red. And I've been contemplating because I'm thinking this one might not turn pink, but it's going to also be much darker. So I decided to go with this one. We'll see if we have to darken it, we can. So I've got some cups out. I'm going to mix, let's see. I need blue, red, and white. So what am I going to use for a white? I think I'm just going to use the Ocean White by Let's Resin. So yeah, we will see. That's what we're going to go with. So let's get these cups. And I have not ran my resin through the debubbler because we are going to, I'm going to be using my torch. So I really don't need to. And I don't think I'm going to use a lot of white. So I'll just do like a half of one of that. And then I've still got some if I need to mix up more. Because like I said, I don't know where this is just being coated, how much I'm going to need. So it's going to be a trial and error, guys. So I'm just going to mix up this blue. This is a beautiful blue. All right, so I'm just gonna wipe most of it off. And we'll put just a little, oop, where are you? All right. Now I have to remember, because my angle is different, to try and be able to get this whole thing in. So if I go out of frame, guys, I apologize. I am trying, you know, to do a bigger project than my desk will allow. Or my camera will allow, I should say. I don't know, maybe I'll try and prop that up. Maybe I can get it a little high. I mean, I could zoom out, but I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. So the reason that I ended up painting it blue is so if some of these colors are transparent, we're not going to see the wood, we'll see the blue. And I am going to put a little bit more because it looks a little thin. All right, I do want it to be a nice dark blue. And I want it to be opaque. I'm just gonna wipe the color from my stick so we can get that mixed in. Yeah, I think that's gonna be much better. And like I said, it's, you know, we're going to see the blue behind it. I really didn't want to use a mica powder for this. I wanted to try it all in just pigments. Because the pigments don't splay out as much. Although I did have really good results in my my pen holder thing. So I have done one other Lazy Susan, but I did it in a paint pour and then epoxied over it. So I figured this time we would try just doing the resin and see what we can get. Scrape that color off, and I will go back through and re-stir these, but yeah, I think that'll be good. And now we will get some of the white pigment. Yeah, I don't even try to squeeze these bottles anymore. It just ain't worth my time and effort on trying to squeeze those little bottles because that paste is so thick. And all I did is I sanded the layer of this with a fine grit, and then I just spray painted it with the 2x blue gloss. That's all that was. Okay. So that looks good. All right, so do I take a little out of here to make my blue glitter? I'm thinking yes. So I'm just going to take a little bit, because the blue glitter is basically going to be like the final. We're just going to put a little bit of a glitter through it. I don't think I'm going to do anything with the white as far as the glitter. I'll just do the red and the blue. And all right, so I'll have a little bit more blue glitter than red glitter, which is fine. I am going to add a little bit more in here, and we'll get that stirred. And if I have to add more pigment, I will. Yeah, that should be. Okay. So I'm going to get the glitter mixed up now, just so that I know it is mixed up. And I do want this to be pretty saturated. So we're going to put a good amount. Yeah, that's going to be really pretty. I bet a whole tray done in this would be gorgeous. All right, let me wipe this. And then I'm going to use up this one first. These are both the same color. And this should darken that red too a little bit. All right, so we're gonna let these, we'll move these off to the side and we'll let those sit. I do think I am going to add a, I don't know, do I add a thin layer of clear or do I just start with the colors? I think we'll put a little bit of clear in there just to start. Like I said, I might have to make up more. I don't know. It doesn't have to be a lot. I just basically want something that's going to help my other colors, you know, be able to move a little bit easier. And I'll get the sides after. So, and I'll probably use the heat gun on this layer just to kind of help thin it out a little bit. I was thinking about starting this with the tabletop, but I decided not to. Maybe we'll try it some other time. But I will be top coating this with the tabletop just to give it a hard finish. Okay. All right, now I just want to lightly get those edges, because I do want this resin to be able to flow over the edges easily. So if your piece is already coated in resin, it will flow much easier. So I'm just kind of sticking my finger in the resin. You know, and you can kind of feel that you have resin on there because it gives a little bit of a glide. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we got all these other colors that we're going to be adding on. But just to give a little something. Okay, let me wipe my hands. You know, and you can see it's pulling away, and that's fine because we've got other colors going on there, but just to give a little bit of a base. I didn't do this when I did my clock, but figured we'd try it on this one. All right, let's start. All right, let's see here. Okay, that is the blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my white and I'm going to drizzle because that's gonna mix and make like a lighter blue. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of, so what I'm doing here is I'm trying to make a little bit of a barrier so we don't end up with a too pink of a red. But then again, we could end up with a purple, so I don't know, guys. This is definitely an experiment. And let's see, we'll do a little bit here. And I'm only doing a little bit. I'm just trying to help it so that, you know, it won't completely turn pink, is what I'm hoping. All right, so let's... And try right in there and see what happens with that little bit of red. If it's gonna stay, or it doesn't look like it's gonna make too big of a pink. So let's, because then I'll probably have to blow it anyways to mix it in a little, so we'll just go with whatever we get. And then I'm going to have to work on getting it to go over the edges. Let's go back in with some blue. So I do want more of the blue if possible. Go over the edge. Let's see. Get this going over. And let's put some more red. And then I will have to move all of my cups and stuff off of here because whatever resin's on the bottom is gonna keep spreading. Alright, guess we'll just get some more white and then we'll figure out where we want, we'll blow it and then figure out where we want. I should have had more red down in here, but like I said, I've still got some color, some clear if I need to mix up more, so I guess we'll All right, let me wipe my hands. And let's try and get this blowing around a little bit. So this is also going to help stop popping some of them bubbles. And it's going to thin the resin out so we will be able to move it. And start getting it over the edges. And it's high, so... Hang on. I'm going to grab my other heat gun. This one seems like it has more power. I don't know why, but it does. Don't stick your thing in the resin. Oh, keep sticking my end right in it. All right, let me take a stick here. Oops. It's not moving the way I want it to move. Probably because I need more resin. So maybe let's try to get some clear in there and see if that will help. still got my glitter ones that I've got to add in, but I'm trying to make sure that I have no fisheye areas where it's completely covered. So I might be mixing up some more resin, guys. And I definitely can put some more white. I ain't got much, but okay. And I almost made up 10 ounces too. And I'm thinking now I should have. Because I want some of the red to stay red, some of the blue to stay blue. And then I don't mind if some of it mixes. But I wanted it to be more patriotic. Okay. There's that. So I still have some clear. I'm just picking up what is on the table and getting that color on the edges. Because I do want my edges to be, you know, covered and have some of the colors that are in the piece. And then once I get my edges done, if I need to pick up more, like to put on the top, I can. So yeah, if I make another one of these, I will definitely start with 10 ounces of resin. I think we're gonna make it with the 8, but I think it's, you know, it's just cutting it really close. I mean, we are gonna do a top coat, but all right, so I'm not seeing any more open gaps. And then you know, and then when we put that glitter on, it's gonna push again and move some of that. Okay. And let me torch. I will do this a couple of times. All right, I'm just kind of trying to look sideways. To see if I can see any little dimples. Already got, I don't even have my my heater AC on in here because I didn't want any dust, and I'm still getting little specks, which I guess can't be avoided, right? All right, so let's start getting some of our red glitter. I don't know if I should try it with my stick first. Maybe. So yeah, I don't mind if there's, you know, some areas that's a little bit thicker than others. Because I think that's just gonna help enhance . Let's try the blue. Just use a stick. make a little mess like that, you just make it part of the piece. So you're just gonna have to look and see like what it's looking like and where you think there should be a little bit more sparkle. Coming through. It's looking good in person. It looks kind of funky on my TV, but it really is looking really good in person. I'm gonna try to like cross over some of the red glitter as well, just to kind of like incorporate the two. So it's almost like, you know, making veins through the piece. All right, because this will help loosen. So I'm not getting a lot of pink. I'm getting some light red, but not pink, which is good. Just trying to go over some of the glitter areas and help widen them out a little bit. So I'm just kind of following the veins of the glitter and excuse me. And I can still see like a lot of bubbles popping from in the glitter. Now, had I used mica powder, a lot of these colors would be blending already. Okay, let's see. I think that's looking good. And I want to get my sides one more time. And I can even put some the blue glitter some places down in the base. Just so, you know, it's going to have like a little sparkle. Like right there, it's kind of wanting to pull apart. And I can't see if I have any overage there. But since that's the red side, just pulling away just slightly right through there. Gotta put a little bit of red on this side too. All right, so my resin is already getting thick, so just I mean, we're going to be putting another coat, but I want this first coat to be just as awesome. I just want to make sure it's all like rolled over that edge. That is looking good. Trying to get that very edge piece. So I just scooped up a bunch that was on the table underneath here. And I'm just trying to get it so that it's going over my edges. Yeah, because this resin is already starting to set. Okay. So that is it. I'm going to torch one more time. And then we're going to leave it. Okay. All right. Take my gloves off. And I'm going to try to bring you down so that you can kind of see from my angle. So you can see how it's all over, nice and on the edges. So yeah, I will be back for the next step, guys. Okay, guys, I'm back. This is all cured. I am going to do a top coat of the Craftor tabletop epoxy because I want this to have a nice hard shine, you know, a hard finish with a nice shine. I'm going to mix up 8 ounces again because I know the top coat shouldn't take as much, but I want to make sure that I have enough. So all right, so we got 4 ounces of part A. And we're going to do 4 ounces of part B. And then we are going to stir them together. Now, this is going to make a ton of bubbles. That's just the nature of the beast with tabletop. In fact, let me put it in a bigger cup so I can mix it better. You know, and like I said, now I probably got way too much, but this is only my second or third time doing a top coat, and I know I don't want it as thick, but I do want it to run over the edges. So I'm just stirring this around until everything is incorporated and it's gone clear. So that's how you can tell. And because this is going to create a lot of bubbles anyways, I don't worry about mixing it too slowly because this is a thick resin to begin with. We're going to pop the bubbles with the blowtorch. So I came down last night and it was still tacky. I thought about doing it then and I'm like, no, I'm going to give it a nice cure. So if I have to rub this around, I'm not screwing up my base. Okay. Now I'm just going to scrape my sides, my bottom. But you can see it's more of like a honey consistency than a real thin. And because it gets so many bubbles, you can't tell. So I'll bring it up and let it run. So if there's any striations, you kind of see them at that point. All right. So, all right, are we ready? You know what? I am going to give this a quick light sand. We'll let that debubble just a minute. And I'm just going to take this 320 sandpaper and we're just going to we're just going to kind of scratch it up. And then I'll wipe it with alcohol just so there's something for this tabletop to stick to. All right, now, and we're gonna give that a good wipe. So we have no dust. So this, for some reason, this side here, I don't know if maybe the board is, because it's, all right. Okay, it says it's even, right in the middle. Okie dokie. So we're just gonna now sometimes in your top coat you can add the crushed crystal if you want, but because I've already added some glitter in there, I'm not going to. So I definitely want this to be going over the edge. So I'm trying to make sure this time I get it right on that little bit of an edge. Because if not, our sides are going to be a little bit different than our face. And I want that to be all coated and nice and smooth as well. So I did raise up my camera a little bit, so hopefully you can see a little bit better. All right, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna have a lot, but like I said, I'd rather have too much than not enough. So I'm just gonna smooth this over. So normally I would do the edges after, but I'm gonna do the edges first because I want to make sure that the edges are done. But this will give a nice hard finish so that it's not going to scratch easy. And if I can remember correctly, when I did the other one, I did go a little too thin, and I had a few fish eyes. So that's why this time I'm making sure I have a really, really good coat. Okay. So that feels nice and coated, nice and even. All right, let me grab a paper towel. Because Excuse me. So yeah, yesterday I'm sitting there eating supper and all of a sudden my fingers broke out. Yeah, I'm like, oh, lovely. So I got a big old honking blister on my ring finger. Oh, my thing's getting low. Oh, let's see. Good thing I got a baby one. Okay. So I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna give it about 10 minutes and I will torch it again to make sure that we get all of those bubbles out. Really, I'm already getting little bits in here. And I don't even have anything on. You know, it just goes to show you how many like dust particles are actually in our house. Oh, that was a hair. Okay. So I'm just kind of leaning over it and looking at different angles. To make sure there's nothing like embedding into this resin. All right, we're gonna torch it one more time. So this should set up within like 10-15 minutes and stop dripping. Just want to make sure that I'm getting those little tiny bubbles out. Okay, that's looking good. All right. So now I'm going to have to find something to put that other little bit of resin in, which is going to be full of, let's see, so I know for next time. You know, of course, this one doesn't have, so I have 100 milliliters, which I'm thinking is about half. Let me see if I can get some of the bubbles out in the cup. Maybe a heat gun. So I'm just putting my heat gun in there. because no matter what I pour this in, it's going to be full of bubbles because I can't torch it. So I'm using the heat gun now where my torch died, just to, because as I'm going over it, you can see the bubbles like popping, and that way there it ensures that I got all of them. So yeah, if you look at like at a side angle, you can see those bubbles pop. And then when you go back over it, you don't see that. So you know you've got them. If that makes any sense. Just don't want to stay in one area too long because this will thin your resin down, but I really want a nice clean finish. Okay, so what can I use to let's, all right, if we put it in something that maybe we can color the mold, you know what, this one's got a lot of little pieces left from the last time. So I'm gonna just pour this, even if I have to just lay it like that to get that part. Yeah, let's do that. Even if I gotta prop it up or something. Because I do have something in mind that I'd like. Oop, crap on a cracker here. Get you back in there. My spatula. Trying to scoop some of this up off the table. Okay. Scrape this one last time. And then when I come back, we will get the tape off. And then we will get this bad boy assembled. I'm just gonna clean out my cup. Let me wipe my fingers so I can shut my camera off here. And then I'll just clean out my cup. And we'll be back on the next step, guys. Okay, guys, so this is all done. It came out amazing. The only thing is I have a spot here and I don't know what it is. So we're just gonna, you know, I don't know, I'll have to put something there. So we're gonna get the tape off the back and then we will get it assembled and I will have final pics for you. All right, so we're just gonna use some heat. I'm just gonna get a spot started here. So you just heat up your edge. Just gonna make sure it's warm enough or it's gonna do that. So I just put this checks underneath just to make sure I don't scratch the top. I did leave it 24 hours because I wanted to make sure that it was nice and hard before I started trying to get the back on it. And before I go too far, I want to get these few little pieces off. You want to definitely do those while it's still somewhat warm. There we go. This used to scare the crap out of me until I actually did it and realized it's not that hard at all. One last little piece. And we're done. So now we'll make a cross, find our center, and then we will put our little base on our beautiful patriotic tray. Yeah. And I will sand that little tiny bit of an edge right there. But let's see, will the deburr work? That's the key here. I just want to make sure that there are like nothing sharp at all. I'll give that a nice finish. So I'm just running the deburr along the edge like this. Let's see if I can tip it up more here. So I'm just kind of doing one of these. Yeah. Yeah. And there we go. So I will get this assembled and I will get you some final pics. Let me know in the comments what you think. My second time doing something like this, so I am pretty impressed. Alrighty guys, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.